Hello, welcome everybody. This is another episode of Oz Radio, brought to you by your host, the Master of Insanity, Loopy Legend, and his wonderful co-host,
Dr. Wheatley.
Dr. Wheatley.
Mm.
I gotta ask, Dr. Wheatley.
Yes.
Are you actually certified?
Depends on your method of certification and in what field. I am, for example, not a medical doctor.
Did you get your certification out of a cereal box?
No, not out of a cereal box per se, but it did come out of a box at some point. At least I hope it was a box.
I was going to say, if it comes out of a cereal box, it doesn't become any more authentic than that.
Pretty much. I don't know. It's good times. It's good times. But if you can guess what I actually have a doctorate in, then, you win a prize.
Umbrellas?
No.
Gas masks?
No.
Autopsies?
No. Although I would like to be able to have a doctorate in autopsies.
You watch too much NCIS.
NCIS is fun, I must say. It's quite a lot of good. In fact, in terms of NCIS, Polly Peretti is my idea of a dream woman. What? Do you have a problem with Abby Scuto?
No.
Seriously, I'm amazed that you, of all people, don't like Abby.
I do like Abby, but I wouldn't have her as a girlfriend.
Oh, I would. She's fantabulous.
I reckon she's a fun character, but not girlfriend material for me.
Juicy.
Anyway, moving on. This is our 10th episode. We are entering double digits. Yay! Quick!
Hooray! I can wear the big boy pants now.
You can?
Yes. And so can you.
Oh, I thought I had these big clown shoes on and the red nose goes, eh.
Nah. I look forward to the day when I'm old enough to wear clown pants. That would be a glorious day.
Yeah, and then we could play us and 20 other people in this really small car game.
Yay! Just make sure that they're all of legal age, because, we don't want any court proceedings. That would be very awkward.
Yeah, true, no problem.
It's a free warning to you kids. You might think it's fun being in a clown car. There's a lot of paperwork to go through. There cannot be any inappropriate touching or canoodling in the clown car.
I got an idea how we can avoid that. We'll see how many people dressed in sumo suits we can fit in a car.
I just feel that to be an incredibly bad idea, just of its basic premise. Seriously, there are some ideas that will take off, that will actually work out quite well. There are some ideas, however, like making a helicopter out of popcorn, that are just inherently doomed to fail.
Well, at least everyone gets free popcorn in the audience.
Indeed they will.
They'll
also get a lot of other things, like blood and corpses and, legal proceedings.
Oh, flavour.
Anyhow.
We'll get right into it and get into the news. I believe you have first honours.
Indeed. So, first of all, and this is an exciting thing for many of you, and you probably don't need me to tell you this, but in case you've been living under a rock, Diablo 3 was released this week. It is one of 2012's biggest releases, and considering how popular Diablo 2 was, it should come as no surprise to any of you that it has been highly anticipated, that people are killing each other in glee for anticipation for it. There will be people just popping up on your Steam list just saying, yes, Diablo 3, yes! And it should also come as no surprise to you that I, Dr. Wheatley, could not care less about Diablo 3.
Yay! Someone who agrees with me. I couldn't care less either, but we have to announce it, unfortunately.
Pretty much. The thing is, it's news, whether or not we actually personally care about it. Me, personally, I'm more excited for Torchlight 2. Now that's exciting.
Well, I'm more excited about other things, but I'll mention that later in the show.
Indeed.
But I'm not a personal fan of Diablo, but I know there's lots of you out there. But I actually heard some funny news today. Apparently the servers crashed under pressure of too many players being on WoW and Diablo at the same time.
Fail.
Yep, I reckon.
In all seriousness, though, I really, just before anybody starts, getting themselves in a twist, I really liked Diablo 2. Like, I played that a lot. Until I got to the point when I realized that I would create a new character and play through maybe the first 2 worlds, and then I'd just get bored and give up. But I think if I had had other people to play it with, I probably would have played it a lot more. It seems like fun, and I've no doubt that Diablo 3 will actually be fantastic once it gets up and going and they sort out all the bugs and what have you. Once it actually gets stars, I've no doubt it'll be absolutely brilliant. But I probably won't get it until much later. I mean, I didn't play Diablo 2 until like years after everybody else stopped playing it. And I was like,
I got a question in regards to that. Would there be any game out there that would actually make you queue up for a midnight release?
I have only ever gone to a midnight release of one game. And I must admit I was a little bit surprised. It was StarCraft 2. I was the first person in the Newcastle Hunter region, at least from getting from the one in Katara. I was the first person to get the game. Like, there was a lineup of people, and I was at the head of the queue. And I was super excited to play through the storyline, and I thought it was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And then I played 2 games on multiplayer and thought, this is rubbish, and I went back to playing the single player again. Good times.
I don't play them. I just play the fun custom matches like Tower Defense and Tug of Wars and all that.
Tower Defense is fun.
Yeah, actually, I know I'm going off topic here, but just a side story. I remember playing one Tower Defense game where the towers had spruce names. Like, I remember one tower, it was called a Snot Thrower, and it was area effect.
Lovely.
Just thought I'd put that mental image inside your head, just for you.
Yeah, I've heard of worse. Trust me, I've played The Binding of Isaac, by the way. Here's a quick recommendation from Dr. Wheatley. If for some reason you haven't played The Binding of Isaac, go and get The Binding of Isaac, because it's amazing! Moving on.
That was a quick tip.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke it really fast.
I can do that.
Yeah, I know. It's like me on steroids, or straight red cordial, I like to say. Me and straight red cordial doesn't mix. Trust me, if you see me drinking straight red cordial, run for your life.
Oh dear, there's no point in running at that point. The best thing you can do is just hunker down and hope for the best.
Anyway, the next bit of exciting news. We've got 10 episodes, and due to popular demand, and, well, some of you that won't shut up, honestly, I'm going to be uploading the Oz Radio podcast to iTunes. So I should have that done by next week, and I'll have links for you, and it will be freely available.
Yay! Free stuff!
Lots of you have been crying at me to put this on iTunes, so I'll get going. It's probably annoying as heck to put it on iTunes, because apparently I had a look at it earlier, and well, I have to do this, and so I just said, screw it. So, but I'll go through the trouble this week and put it on iTunes for you, just for you guys, so you can go watch it on iTunes. There you go.
Hooray! Fantabulous.
Next on the list.
Yep. Let's see here. Oh, yes. For those of you who have been listening for the past couple of installments, we've been talking about the Portal 2 maps. And we're not just talking this week about you guys making stuff for us to be bamboozled about and go, what kind of madness is created?
We actually have quite a few submissions in the email set, so we have to get playing those a little later on.
Yeah, in fact, after this is all done and dusted, I'll probably be digging into a couple of them myself. But in this case, we're actually making you the Mad Chatter's House Obstacle Course. And it's going to be a competition that we'll be holding for you guys, where anywhere between, say, 10 and 20 courses will be made by this insane fellow over here and myself. And, yeah, it's going to be good.
Here's a free warning for you. I guarantee you, any of the courses that he makes will be utterly sadistic in comparison to the ones made by me.
Yeah, mine are hard. His are easy. I mean, he's slightly challenging.
I'll try and make them challenging, but they're not going to be the kind of frustrating challenging where if you mess up one jump, then you have to start the entire thing over again because you fell in water. I hope to just make it more of an intellectually stimulating thing that you can take your time on and that doesn't require precision platforming.
Did you play that jump course one of mine, did you?
No, I only played the one. I only played that one map, and I could not finish it because I just got sick of falling in the water from the...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, from the incredibly bad controls on that friggin' bouncing gel. I'm serious. If there was more air control, I would not care so much. But the fact is that this is my biggest complaint with that DLC. Because you cannot save. If you die, you have to start the entire course over again.
You can save. I figured out a way to do it.
How?
You push F6 to save, and if you die, you go back to last time you push F6, or you can push S7 to load it automatically.
How does that work?
I don't know. Someone else told me, and well, it works. I tried it. I died in this course doing it. I pushed F6 before, and I went back to where I pushed F6.
Well, then maybe I'll actually try that course again, because I was not willing to go through all the crap that I had gone through before. So maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's not. Who knows?
Well, I've renamed it Scootaloo's Scooter Course now.
Oh, right. Well, fair enough. I don't know.
Anyway, moving on. The latest. Now, we talked about hats last week, and what does TF2 do? They release more hats.
Wow.
And they've actually...
Wait. You're telling me that Team Fortress 2 released more hats.
Yeah, I know.
Colour me shocked.
I know. It's that obvious, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But what I really like about this is the pony reference they've put on calling it. They've entitled this news, Friendship is Trading. No pony pun intended.
Well, it's not exactly surprising given that Gabe is a brony.
Fair enough. But for those of you who haven't heard, TF2 has some new hats linked directly with Super Monday Night Combat, which we'll be talking about later on. By reaching set levels of Super Monday Night Combat, you can get yourself 2 new hats, one for the sniper, one for the pyro. So all you have to do is log on and play Super Monday Night Combat, hopefully before all the pros get a hold of the game.
Oh yeah, I cannot emphasize this strongly enough. If you want to get the Flamingo Kid, which is a sniper hat that you attain at level 5, and at level 20 you obtain the Triclops, which is a hat for the pyro.
Or a mask, anyway.
Yeah, well, a mask. It's got 3 eyes, very cool, but, oh, and of course, it's another reference to the idea that perhaps the pyro is a female, because the Triclops, the assassin in Super Monday Night Combat, is in fact a woman who is universally renowned for her ability to be stealthy, have awesome knives, and of course the fact that she has a juicy... Actually, moving on. Point is, if you want to obtain these, I strongly recommend you do it now in the first couple of weeks. Don't wait, because if you wait, all the noobs will have given up and the only people left will be the really good hardcore players, and you will not enjoy that. Trust me when I say, if you have ever had issues with games like League of Legends or Dota, where leveling up is just a pain, and you can't win because the people you're fighting against are insanely good, no-life people who just spend their entire lives becoming perfect on these things, Super Monday Night Combat will not be friendly to you like that. If you put in the effort, it'll be fine. But you will more than likely get slaughtered.
We'll cover this in the weekly gripe. That's the weekly gripe topic.
I'll let you handle that one. Because you've
you
already
bet
made this
I will
very clear that this is your rant for the week.
Oh, you better believe I am going to be covering this one, but I'll cover that when time is right. Anyway, the next bit of news. Solar has been doing a bit of work on the Hail servers, and for those of you who are Mimic owners, like me...
And me, hooray! Yar, Gangplank.
I got Scootaloo, yay! I'm a chicken.
I don't care what you say, loopy legend. I don't care what insanity goes on in your head. You have no stylistic choice. If you think that wearing that boombox on the back of your Scout looks any good, looks garbage floating around in the
shut
air
up.
behind
The boombox is good. You're the only one who's complained about it.
It's because I'm the only one who has style and class and sophistication. And also because most people probably don't care, but I'm OCD like that.
Yeah, I know. But for those of you who haven't heard, what could a date on this to be finalised is to be announced. So there's no set date on when Solar will or won't do this. But he's actually planning on adding passive effects that when Mimics taunt, so for example when I sit there and play my boombox, everyone in the immediate area in my circle range will get a speed boost for about 5 or 10 seconds or something like that.
Interesting.
Some of them give critical hits, some of them will remove fire, some of them will release stun and fear, things like that.
You know what I would love? What I would really love for my Mimic's effect to be?
Walk the plank?
No, Gangplank. You know what I would love for his Mimic power to be?
What?
I would love to be able to use that Bonesaw technique where you summon a heavy weapons guy, but instead of summoning a heavy weapons guy, I summon a small troop of Demo Knights. They can't use their swords to give themselves a shield or whatever, and they don't get critical hits like the other demos. But I summon a trio of randomly equipped Demo Knights to fight for me. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be funny. But and that also brings up another funny point. I was actually going to say, I know one that the Cuddly Heavy should have.
Do I want to know what this is?
Well, considering Leon has it, it might be funny. I think Leon has the Cuddly Heavy one, right, doesn't he?
He might. I'm not actually sure what Leon's Mimic is.
Well, whoever has the Cuddly Heavy Mimic, what happens is, if the Hail gets caught inside the taunt range when it happens, he gets holiday punched.
I think
That
that
might
would
be
be
funny.
hideously overpowered.
But you have the thing is you have to sit there and taunt, and the activation only happens right on the end of the taunt, so you basically sit there invulnerable for a few seconds.
I still think that that's hideously overpowered.
Well, it would be insane.
There is a
funny.
reason why they removed the ability of the Holiday Punch in Hail.
I know, but still, you got to taunt to do it. So anyway, moving on. The last bit of news is actually for those of you who are Minecraft players. Now, Aussie for Aussie, and like Razara in particular, who runs the Minecraft section of Ozfur, has been setting up. We've taken down the Minecraft servers, as a lot of you disappointed players obviously know, but we've actually got a new Tekkit server up now, which you can do all this really weird and wonderful stuff on, like make machinery, all this weird armor, all this kind of unusual stuff. So there's information in the Google documents, but go to the forums and there's a whitelist procedure. So if you follow the procedure correctly and get approval, you can jump on and play with us. I'm on there myself. I'm actually teaming up with Levo and we're building a Swamp Town.
Swamp Town!
Yeah. Come to our town, you'll be swamped. Bad pun intended.
You probably couldn't hear it, but that was the sound of me slapping myself on the forehead.
Ooh, is that why you got a big red mark up there? Because you've already done that so many times?
Pretty much. I'm allergic to stupidity.
I'm not. I do it every single day of the week.
No wonder I've been sick for the last fortnight. Anyways, moving right
You're
along.
still slapping yourself. Quick, do it again.
No.
Dummy.
So, moving right along, we've got our YouTube picks for the week. And,
Yep.
Loopy, would you care to walk us through your one?
My one has ponies going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's addictive. Yay, I watched it for nearly 5 hours straight once. It's a really catchy song. The ponies are going up, down, up, down. They're bobbing in duos. Yay! Feel free to slap yourself in the head.
I'm not slapping myself in the head. I'm just slowly massaging the area between my eyes. Ugh. Anyway, if we move along to my one, I should warn you, those of you with sensitive hearing, those of you who don't like cuss words or angry people or what have you, should probably not watch my video. If, however, you want to see an absolutely hilarious minutes-long video of a man raging in the most beautiful and tear-inducingly way possible on Team Fortress 2, I strongly recommend you watch this video. And see if you can guess, before the video ends, how many times this man will say the F word. Because it is absolutely marvellous. There's also one...
over 9,000!
There's even one glorious part where he starts raging because his team lost, and then somebody starts playing the violin in the background.
That was funny.
Good times. Good times indeed.
You really think so? You gotta admit, they just lost, and he plays the violin.
Oh, it's because someone says, "Oh well, we lost," and he says, "I'll tell you why we lost." And as soon as he starts talking, someone just goes,
Yeah, story of life, right?
"Ah, glorious!" And now
right.
onto the part you've all been waiting for. Loopy rages about Super Monday Night Combat.
Yes, and before I start, if anyone else mentions again that I rage quit out of a game, which some people on the community, Orksley, refuse to let me forget, I don't care. This game has gotten stupid. I played it during the beta. It was fun. It was a fun game. Games are very close, you know? I could have a bit of fun. I could kill a few people, you know? I got killed a few times. It was pretty evenly balanced. I jump on now, because I haven't played since the beta, really. And after a few months of not playing it, I jump on. I play it. You know, my skills are still the same. I'm pretty average. You know, I'm a decent team player. I jump on, and within the first 1 minute, I'm dead because some assassin snuck behind me and killed me. Fair enough. I got taken down. You know, I jump on. It happens again. You know, I sit there and push the line of bots. We get owned. No matter what I do, it's no fun because I cannot go more than 30 seconds without dying. Literally. And I don't care what you say. Oh, you're just not good enough. I am not going to waste 20 hours a day of my life getting that good to play with people that good. I'm not going to turn into one of those people that are that good at that game. You can understand my stress, can't you?
Trust me, I've been nodding the entire time that you've been talking here, and I completely agree with you on this one. I played the original Monday Night Combat, and I felt like this is the biggest difference between, say, Team Fortress 2 and Monday Night Combat, which is that in Team Fortress 2, aside from the fact that, everyone may have different weaponry, everyone is always on the same level. So you may be a better player than another person there, but you won't ever be inherently stronger or weaker than they are. They can still get random kills against you if they sneak up on you or ambush you, or if they work together with their team.
Or if they get a lucky shot.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they get a nice lucky crit rocket. Oh, how I love the lucky crit rocket.
And before you go on, I will point this out, right? A very important point, right? Even if you have a few good players on your team in Team Fortress 2, a few good players will not change the whole outcome of team.
Exactly.
In Super Mario Night Combat, one extremely good player will change the whole outcome of that team.
Pretty much.
You could have four incredibly stupid players and one insanely good player on one team. The one insanely good player will win it for the whole team.
Yeah, because all he does is just feed off the people on the other team. He keeps getting stronger and no one can take him down.
Exactly.
Immediately after I earned level 20 on that game, I played one more game because I thought, you know what, I'm actually enjoying myself here. Not anymore. As soon as I had gone past level 20, all the people who had been playing for the Team Fortress hat stopped, and it suddenly became all the insane pros. Now, this is no longer a case of just me, because I'll freely admit I didn't get a single kill for the entire round. But guess what? Neither did anyone else on my team. The 5 people on the other side absolutely slaughtered us, absolutely wiped the floor with us. I thought maybe it's just an aberration. I went back and tried again. No real difference. The thing is, in the first Monday Night Combat, if you weren't doing that well, if you felt like you were just sort of feeding the other team and you weren't being that useful, you could still just go off into one of the lanes, fight the enemy bots, stop them, and maybe build some turrets. You could focus more on base defense and playing as a support class.
You can't build turrets in this one!
You can't build turrets! What the... I loved building turrets and all that.
You can't even repair turrets that are damaged.
And the other thing which really got to me was that in the first Monday Night Combat, whenever you went up and purchased new bots for your team, it was a different bot depending on who you were. The assassin summoned gremlins. The support summoned a lot. Wait, no, it wasn't the support. Was it the sniper who summoned? Yeah, the support summoned a long shot. The sniper summoned those ghoulish things that suck your special abilities away. But
this one is just everyone buys the same thing.
It's all completely identical. And you can see why they've done it in some ways. Like, in some ways it makes sense. It's a lot more like, for example, League of Legends now, where you don't build turrets in League of Legends, you just fight the bots and it's all about you. And that's what I don't like. They've taken out all the strategy and basically made it entirely based on who is the best player. Who is the best at killing another person? So ultimately, which class is the strongest? And I don't.
But you still have to push the bots along.
Oh,
no, wait, that doesn't count. You can push the bots along all you like. I'm just going to come by and kill you in the back.
Yep, pretty much.
The team I played had 3 assassin classes on it, and guess what? The next game I played, 3 assassin classes on it. The next game, 3 assassin classes on it.
It's just incredibly unbalanced and not at all fun. And here's one other gripe, one major gripe I have with it. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are more patient fellows than I am. But I don't like waiting upwards of 10 minutes just so I can play a game when I'm going to get my ass handed to me by a bunch of strangers.
Exactly.
The waiting time is hideous. I know in the first Monday Night Combat it can be annoying going in and there's maybe 1 or 2 people on the server, whatever. You know what? It's a lot more fun than being forced to wait for 5 people on each side, going in and having 2 people on your team immediately leave who cannot be replaced for the whole rest of the game.
Exactly.
If the people who left during the game could be replaced by other people who came in and took over their slots, I wouldn't mind so much. But the fact that you can effectively ruin another person's game by leaving halfway through is just unacceptable. You can understand why they do it in games like League of Legends. It should not be allowed in a game which has already shown that it was just fine when you could do it.
And I would like to point out one more gripe about this game. You wait 10 minutes, you join a game. Sure, some people rage quit, that happens, right? But, to those people who are that good and who are on those teams that do nothing but own those people, congratulations. You're now sad, miserable little whopper bastards.
I'm not even going to call them out on that, because they can just say, you're just mad because you can't beat me. Well, consider this then. You are the reason why that game is probably going to die. Because people are not going to have fun playing it if they get continually having their arse handed to them. Team Fortress 2, there are enough people that you can usually find a server where you can have fun against people of a roughly similar skill level. You can usually have fun because there's enough variety in the players.
And it's fun. Keyword fun.
Oh, yes. There's so much good stuff going for Super Monday Night Combat. The characters are hilarious. The voice acting on the narrators, I love so much.
It is good. It's a damn good game, except for the over-competitive players.
It's one of those cases where a beautiful idea has been spoiled by the people who play it.
Exactly. And honestly, this is our weekly gripe. If you're that good at that game, you're that sad at that game.
I don't want to go there on the personal levels. I just shake my head sadly. Ah, well. I was looking forward to Super Monday Night Combat. I'd rather just go back and play the original again.
That's the same for me. When I played the beta, I'm like, this game's awesome. This game's wonderful. It's hilariously funny. I want to play it. I want to become good at it. And then my dreams just got shattered to bits by you good players.
Makes me sad.
We'll move on. This week's Insider Gaming is brought to you by none other than Dr. Wheatley, certified to give you news in any game, anywhere, anytime. Trust me, you got to have a cereal packet.
Yay! All right. So this time, I'd like to present to you a short review that I've composed upon for The Walking Dead. Now, The Walking Dead was released quite recently. The Walking Dead is a point-and-click adventure game published by Telltale and based on the Eisner Award-winning comic book series by Robert Kirkman. Speaking strictly as somebody who has never actually read the comic series himself, playing these games has made me want to quite badly. Now,
it's that good.
It is. It is really that good, and I'll tell you why. Thing is, Telltale has had a lot of experience making episodic point-and-click adventure games over the last few years, as well as the occasional celebrity tag team poker adventure. But their record has been hardly perfect. Most notably, the questionable quality of previous title Jurassic Park, which was notorious upon release for being amazingly buggy for many players, particularly on the PC, as well as irritating the people who are expecting a lot of freedom for exploration rather than the linear and quite restricted story that they were presented with. I mean, come on, it's Jurassic Park. How hard is that to screw up, eh? So,
you go on an island, you get eaten by dinosaurs.
Exactly. Now, The Walking Dead is a clear step up for them, and is by far the most immersive and enjoyable little romp I have had in the zombie genre since I first played Left 4 Dead, though for entirely different reasons. I might go so far as to say that it's the best game that has been released by Telltale since they got into this genre of game making, but I haven't yet finished the last few episodes of Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, or even started Back to the Future games. So I'll reserve my judgment until then. Now, I shall try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible, as the story is the meat and bones of this game. So instead of giving a plot synopsis, because really, it's a zombie apocalypse point-and-click adventure, what more do you need to know?
Wait. What flavour do they add to the humans when they eat them?
I'm going to punch you in the stomach. I'll tell you what makes this game really worth picking up. Firstly, in terms of immersion and storytelling, it is exceptionally good. The voice acting is superb. I didn't find a single character in the entire first episode whose voice even mildly irritated me. I loved all of them, insofar as I thought the voice acting was good, even for the characters I wanted to kick in the shins. Beyond that, the aesthetics emulate the style of the comic and bring a lot of life and depth to the body language of the characters, allowing some very clear messages to reach you without a word actually being said. You really feel a strong connection to these characters, provided you take the time to get to know them a little better, and you will want to, because they'll know if you did or didn't. Unlike in, say, Left 4 Dead, where the characters either know each other already or are forced together through a mutual love of chainsaws and Molotov cocktails, in this game, everyone is a stranger to you. Sure, you could theoretically go through the entire thing without giving a damn about anyone else, but if you don't give a shit about them, why should they feel any different about you? And that is key to surviving in this game. Now, the gameplay itself is uncomplicated and rather intuitive, which is helpful for newbie point-and-click adventure gamers like myself, though I'll freely admit I was playing with the advanced user interface tips on, and I suspect there are quite a few puzzles that I'd have struggled with if I had left them off, because I must admit I could not discern what was a puzzle item and what was an unimportant piece of background scenery without the help of the tooltip sometimes, but mostly, I think people who are more used to this sort of thing than me will probably have a much easier time of it. Unlike the notorious point-and-click adventure games of yore, where the solutions to certain problems made sense only in the designer's brain, the solutions to the puzzles in The Walking Dead are usually pretty clear, with one or two notable exceptions. Seriously, there's this one puzzle that involves a pillow that made me just go, what the Anyway. What really makes this game intriguing for me are the tough choices, and this was what really elevated it for me from a regular point-and-click adventure game or just a regular adventure game to being a truly exceptional one. I won't explain them in great detail as that would be spoilerific, but the short version is that you will be called upon to make very tough decisions very quickly. Unlike Mass Effect, where you can take your time to make most choices due to the usual absence of a time limit, and the fact that if you make the exact right choices, then you can save everyone and all will be peaceful and nothing bad will ever happen, The Walking Dead doesn't give you any time to ponder, and you must go with what you feel in your guts is right, because ultimately it is a zombie apocalypse, and not everyone is going to come out of it clean and, more importantly, alive. I recommend the living hell out of this game. So if you've got $25 lying around and feel like experiencing some quality storytelling and some interesting puzzles, pick it up. You can easily finish the first episode in an afternoon if you're good, and I, for one, can't wait for each new month to bring me another episode to experience. Top notch, give it a go.
This prepaid for commercial is brought to you by Dr. Wheatley. Is that good, is it?
It really is. I saw it being advertised and I thought, this looks interesting, I'll give it a shot. And, I started playing it and I'm just like, wow, this is really well done. Like, it's episodic, so each month we'll have a new one released. You pay $25 for the entire season, so you get the first episode straight away, and then next month they'll release episode 2, and so on and so forth. So it'll probably be dragged over the course of about 5.
Do you have to pay per episode?
No, you pay once, and then you have everything. Every future episode that comes out will be given to you for free.
And if you don't get the episodes now, you have to pay for each episode up until where you bought it?
Oh, as far as I can tell, you just need to pay for what? You just pay for the entire season, basically. Pay $25, you get all the episodes.
Not bad.
Yeah, personally, I'd say it's totally worth it. It's really good storytelling. The voice acting is amazing. I don't really have any criticisms aside from the fact that, a couple of the puzzles maybe go, what the fuck? But then again, I'm not really a point-and-click adventure expert, so for most people, I'm sure it'll probably be quite simple.
And I'll just let you faithful viewers know, when it comes to storylining, like myself, Wheatley knows what he's talking about. So if he recommends a game that good, I'll give it a shot if you're into storyline games.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are two experts in this kind of field. Anyway, moving on. The Mad Chatter's Table. This week we have a pretty interesting topic to cover. And it's a few letters. MMORPGs.
More bigger.
Now, my opinion of these games has vastly changed. I mean, I'll be honest, 6 months or a year after WoW came out, I started playing, and I played it for about a year until just before, probably about 6 months before they released Wrath of the Lich King. Back then, WoW was good. These days, WoW has gone to crap.
Now, personally speaking, I have only played half an hour of World of Warcraft, and only because my brother forced me into it. And I tried to go out and do a quest. I thought it was the most boring, tedious thing that I had ever done. The fact that I knew that there were 8 trillion other people playing who were all way more important and way better than I was did not do much to enthuse me to the idea of actually becoming part of that world, and instead I decided to go back to the orc starting area and stand on a funeral pyre and dance for the entirety of the rest of the half hour.
Have you played any other MMO games before?
Yes. Not before World of Warcraft, no. I've played Rift when it first came out. I played it for a little while, and then this weird event happened where the entire world was overrun with monsters that were way more powerful than me, and I just kept dying and respawning and get killed, and I thought, well, this is boring as fuck, I'm going to give up now. But ultimately, I've never been that into the whole MMORPG business model, purely because of the pay-by-month thing.
Yeah, the pay-by-month thing, no offense to those games that do it, and I've actually subscribed to one, the games is that good though, but to those that do it, you know, you should probably make it at least half the price, or make the game a little more expensive on buying, because pay per month is just pretty stupid. But, you know, it's addictive and a lot of people do it, so...
That's one of the problems that I have with the pay-by-month thing. If you have a game, and you just pay for it, and then it's yours forever, you can take your time with it. You know, if you have things that you need to get done, if you have a choice between, say, playing this game or doing a bit of work, you can probably just afford to do the work.
Whereas it's pay per month, you'll probably play the game, and that's what sucks people in.
Exactly, because you think, oh, I've already paid for this month, you know, I've got to get the most out of my money that I've spent on it. That's just horrible, and personally, I don't like it. Now, I've heard, this is the thing, I've heard a lot of people say, and this is one of the prime arguments of my friends whenever I talk about the pay-by-month model, and this is specifically coming from people who have spent a lot of their lives playing World of Warcraft. They say, but these games are being constantly updated. You know, most of those games that you pay once for, you know, you don't get that sort of a stuff with them.
I'm going to stop right here and say Guild Wars.
And not even Guild Wars. Let's talk about an even more basic thing. For example, Team Fortress 2. Now, Team Fortress 2 is free, and it is, look, that's very important, it's free. You don't have to pay a dime to play it, but it keeps being updated constantly. Valve is always making new stuff for them. And what do they do to get money out of it? They have the Manco store. Now, in that case, you can pay as much as you want towards the game, as much as you think is actually worth it. And you think, you know what, I've been playing this for a while, maybe I will spend a bit of money in this store, give something back to this game. Maybe there's an item that I want. You know, that's totally fine. You can do that kind of thing, but the important thing is you're not forced to do anything.
Exactly. The best games are the ones that you pay for willingly.
Pretty much, yeah. Whereas when you come to most MMORPGs of the past year, like, for example, Rift, World of Warcraft, and unfortunately, most recently, Star Wars, the Old Republic, you have to keep paying for these things. I don't want to keep paying for a game after I've already bought it. I will pay for something if I think it is worth it. But, I don't know. It's just never been that kind of a thing for me. I think that if these games were just free for everyone so that you could come on and play whatever you liked, and you could pay for convenience, like, for example, you could pay for a swath of gold or experience or whatever, you know, things that you can earn naturally in the game already, but which you can acquire quicker through paying for them.
That might be an option.
Yeah, that sort of a thing would be a lot healthier and would make a lot more people enjoy the game. Because ultimately, if nobody's playing the game, nobody's going to want to buy an upgrade.
Exactly. Now, my next gripe about games like this, and this is the other thing, WoW especially, I mean, you start off in a wonderful storyline, and it's basically from level just after you finish the starting area, whatever it is in said games, to end level, you basically do nothing but kill monsters and do stupid fetch quests. It's basically grind and grind and grind and grind. But I will say this. For those of you that like storylines, now I am a Star Wars The Old Republic player, and you know what? I pay per the month, but I play whenever I feel like it. So, I haven't paid recently, but I haven't played in a month or so, but when I actually play with a friend, we play a duo together. So, we have fun, but the reason I enjoy this game is you've got a storyline with your character, so there's 8 complete storylines, because there's 8 characters in the game, right? They're duplicates, 4 on each side, so you've got 4 Imperial, 4 Republic, right? But the storyline stays with you from level 1 to level 50. And even every time you go to a new planet, there's a planetary storyline to follow. You know? You get to this planet, I think it's called, I can't remember which one it's on, it's Hoth. There's a war going on Hoth. Depending on what side you are, you help the war effort. You know? You go kill these snipers that are picking up the troops. You go blow up this fuel dump to set them off, you know? You follow a story on the planet. Plus, you're there for your own reason, whatever your class. If you're a smuggler, you're probably chasing down someone in revenge. If you're a Jedi, you're probably there for some Jedi reason, you know what I mean? But I played a smuggler through from level 1 to level 50, and I had fun. I enjoyed every single level. It took me probably a month, nearly 2 months, to get my character from level 1 to level 50. I had fun with the storyline. Now, I remember playing World of Warcraft. I grinded the hours away. And I'm actually now that I look back on it, I'm sorry I did so. I only ever had one level 70 character on that game. And you can probably see why, can't you?
Mm.
I mean, I wanted to see what being at levels... The only thing that kept me going through the boring grind was, the excitement of what happens at level 70. I got to level 70. I'm like, yes, I'm level 70. I can go on these big brute raids now. No, you can't. You haven't got all the right gear. You need to spend just as long as you leveled up to go through all these littler instances first, get all this purple stuff, then you can come with us.
Mm.
What? I quit. You know? It's a big grind, but, you know, if you want to make if you're going to do an MMORPG, you've got to keep the people interested from level 1 to whatever your maximum is.
Mm.
And and you know what? I'll gladly play another character in Star Wars from 1 to 50, just for the sake of getting it to 50 for the storyline. My actual smuggler is on level 50. I think I've got like 1 or 2 pieces of purple gear to go raiding with. I couldn't care less. I'm not in it for the big 50-man raids. I'm in it for that was an awesome storyline. I'm going to try another class and see how it goes.
For me, it's always just a bit about the fun. And honestly, I have a lot more fun playing with friends than I do with, just your average Joe Blow. But
that's why I said I'm actually playing one character through with my friend. The only time we play these two characters is when we're both on together. Mm. It's really fun.
I've just always found that the biggest issue that I have as far as these... Well, not the biggest issue. This is just one of the many. In terms of the MMO thing, I'm a guy who, as you know, likes story. And I like to feel like when I'm involved in something that, there's actually an effect being made. Whether or not it's being directly influenced by me, I'm perfectly happy being just a small cog in an overall machine, Which is how you feel in some of the war games, When I played, say, Battlefield 1942 or Battlefront 2 from Star Wars, I liked them because they had stories, but there was still a lot of people involved. You were just one grunt, in the actual army, but you felt like you were making a difference as a whole. Games like World of Warcraft, they tried something new with Rift, but it didn't really work.
Fail.
Yeah, games like that don't change depending on what you do. Sure, one area might conceivably, swap to a different palette and have some new soldiers occupying it or whatever, but ultimately there is no progression. There was a comic I saw once that very accurately emphasized my point here, which was a boss monster in one of those games, who stumbles back up to his feet, complains about the adventurers who had just come in and stolen all his things, vows vengeance upon the land, then gets killed immediately again by another band of adventurers who steal his one and only power staff of ultimate fury, and then he just stands back up on his feet and he has another one. There's never going to be any difference made in these things, and that's what annoys me. There is no progression in the story, and I can't stand that idea. No.
The games without... unless you're playing it for the gameplay like TF2. We play TF2 for the gameplay, don't we?
I play Team Fortress 2 for the story. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, wouldn't know that. Yeah. But, unless you're specifically playing a game for the game mechanics and how a game works, if your game has crappy mechanics and crappy story, it should be called crap.
Mm-hmm.
End result... To those MMOs that are nothing but a grind fest, get some story behind your grind fest. Make people have a reason to actually go from level 1 to whatever your maximum level is in the grind fest.
Mm.
Otherwise you should say, look, there's 50 people on the server. Quick, let's put them on the meat grind and mix them up and see what happens. We get a glorious mess. I wouldn't even call that glorious, actually. My bad.
Perhaps inglorious?
Yeah,
a bunch of bastards being inglorious, perhaps?
Yes. Anyway, we have a special segment now. Sorry about that. As promised last week, Matt the Mighty, I am here to get vengeance on you. You challenged me to do so. So, I have a little poem just for you. Me. Alright, now I'm going to own you. Tell me now, Matt the Tiny, why are you quite so whiny? Your claims that you could win this fight tell me that you lack foresight. You dare to dally by a troll, so back off now or pay the toll. Careful, Matty, where you tread, I'll be taking off your head.
Dramatic keyboard chord.
You have been served. Rule number 1 with Loopy Legend, I am a troll. Rule number 2, argue with a troll, I've already won. I win.
Yeah, you really can't argue with a troll. It's just a pointless endeavour. And it's funny too, because in most fantasy circles and people who don't spend that much time on the internet, the reason you don't argue with a troll is because they're too stupid to understand logic.
Hey, you saying I'm stupid?
No, I'm just saying that if I left you out in the sun, you'd turn to stone.
Oh, does that mean at night time I come alive and fly? What? I'm a gargoyle, right? Well, don't they turn the stone in the daylight and come alive at night?
I almost wish that we had cameras on this so that you could see me rubbing my forehead in anguish.
There's a big red mark there now, isn't there?
No, I didn't slap myself. I rubbed my eyes going,
Anyway, Matt, the ball's in your court. You've been served.
Indeed. And now, moving on to emails. Huzzah. Would you like to take the first one, or shall I?
I'll go with the first one. Why not?
Alrighty.
First news announcements. All right. Hello, Mad Chatters. I love your podcast. It is awesome. I have 2 questions for you. Oh, thank you so much, Lee. We appreciate the kind remark. Question 1. If you could make a quote for a character in TF2, what would it be?
As much as I would be tempted to make a wisecrack about the Doctor in Forcicle set, no. Let me think. Honestly, I would just very much like for the melee dares to be implemented. You know, it wouldn't be any one thing, because they had the idea a while back where if your character pulls out a melee weapon when they're facing an enemy, they make a line about the other person pulling out the line. For example, there's one of the snipers saying, "I'm gonna carve a smile into you." Or the heavy weapons guy, when he pulls out his fists, was supposed to go, "Let us fight man versus tiny baby man." That sort of thing I would absolutely love, but if I could just pick one quote to be actually added in, it's an existing quote for the spy, which I don't think is actually being used at the moment and makes me very, very sad. No, it is being used, but it's only used if you use a dueling token. I'd like to be used in real game, which is...
Yep.
Which is ready to... And that's another thing. A lot of the melee dares have been repurposed as duel challenge things. I want them to be actually used in-game. And this one is from the spy, and he says, "Let's settle this like gentlemen." I like that. I like that a lot.
The only problem is the spy's not a gentleman. He does it from behind.
Who says a gentleman can't do it from behind?
Ugh.
Hey,
No comment.
I'm just saying, I know quite a few ladies in my life, quite a few women I know who would not mind at all a gentleman being behind them.
I think I know one I'd add for the Scout. And yes, I love Scout. It's my favourite class, so obviously I have to make a comment for Scout, right? Well, my one would be probably when I drink the bonk, it'd be something like, "Oh wait, you didn't just see me there."
Ha! That's actually not bad.
Oh, thank you.
That's quite good.
The second question he has is, if you could have a character in any game, would your character be involved... Hang on. If you could have a character in any game, how would... I think that's supposed to be how would your character be involved in the game, and how would they interact with the other characters?
Well,
I am not going to answer this question because I think he's trying to dig for my secret game, or my secret character, so I refuse to answer.
Well, then you can go right ahead then, but I don't mind admitting at all that my dream is to have Umbrella Man appear in his own game at some point. And he would not actually be a main character. Like, you know, most of the main cast would be doing whatever. Maybe it would be a crime fiction story or a mystery of some kind. But the way he would appear in the game would be that he would appear as an Easter egg character. So that if you took the time to look around during certain events and look in a certain direction, or maybe check out the background, you would see him interfering or doing something in some way. You know, moving a prop, unlocking a door, doing something like that. he's never addressed and he's never explained, but he's there in every scene if you know where to look. That would be my idea of a brilliant introduction.
It's like the Panda Man from the One Piece series.
I know nothing about the One Piece series, so I have no way of commenting.
I've watched a few One Piece episodes, and every so often, if you look carefully in the background, there's a man with a panda head. He's just there. He's just random.
There's a TV series called Fringe, and there's a character called the Observer, who is a bald-headed man in a suit, who is in every single episode. And I was pretty impressed by that, not only because of that, but because he's not only just in all the Fringe episodes, but he's in TV series of other kinds as an advertisement for Fringe. Like, he's actually a member, if you watch, he is a member of the audience in American Idol, which is hilarious. But
I gotta look that up after this.
It's quite good. But in terms of characters appearing in the background, imagine it as more of a more subtle G-Man, except he doesn't talk to you at the beginning and end of the game. He's just...
Yeah, I can pretty much picture that now. Yeah, but anyway, he finishes up by saying, also, I have made you guys a map to play in Portal 2. I don't know if it is tricky in any way. From your viewer, I think that's supposed to be viewer, Dal Ahan, or on the forums, Reaper. Just a quick note, make sure you spell check your work and read it back to yourself before you send it in. As much as we like proofreading work, we don't have time to do it to all your emails. Anyway, you all got the next one.
Oh, I see.
Pretty big too.
Let's see, who's this from?
Hello, insane chatters. Here is a map that I have made for you to attempt to finish. I have just taken down the video tutorial, just in case you try and cheat your way through it. Have fun and expect more maps soon. And here's some suggestions for you. For Inside Gaming, you should talk about League of Legends. People are confused as to what it is, and I would really like you to finally explain it to the audience. And for a weekly rant, maybe you should talk about Overpowered versus Saxton Hale bosses.
Christian Sniper.
And some other questions. Have you created any Portal 2 maps?
Well, we've already kind of spoken about that. And
have you played the 12 crazy tests in Portal 2? Feedback!
Well, I believe that's actually the 12 angry tests, and no, I haven't quite started those yet. I don't know.
I have. I've completed them, and I can say it didn't make me that angry.
Well, in that case, I shall go through and check it out.
Here's a hint for those of you that are going to attempt it. It basically ends up being a case of you just need to have a look because it's so in plain sight it's not funny.
Indeed.
All right.
Let's see here.
Oh yeah, and second map is done. Expect little portal work and more running around and problem solving. Flaming Fox.
Yay!
Hooray! Now then, in terms of those suggestions, League of Legends, I believe that I can quite happily say, along with my main man Loopy here, that neither of us have the faintest clue of anything about that.
I know it's a Dota, minus that. I know there's some guy in there that says his own name called Dr. Mundo. There you go. That's my experience at LoL.
I can look up League of Legends, and I can basically, because I know what it is in basic terms. I know that it's a Dota-style game, that sort of a thing, but I couldn't really give that much of an in-depth analysis. But then again, maybe we could potentially, and I'm not making any promises here because this just came off the top of my head, we could get a friend of ours who's a member of the Ozfur community who also happens to play League of Legends to come on and do a brief guest spot where they explain it for us.
Ooh, that could be nice.
Indeed it could.
I know some of the biggest LOL people out there. Solar.
That's a good point, actually.
Hey, if he's not currently doing something to fix the Hale servers, he's playing LOL.
It's true. And
sorry, Solar, but it's the truth hurts, doesn't it?
As for Overpowered versus Saxton Hale bosses, I don't really think that I could rant about that, because I don't really find the bosses themselves to be particularly overpowered.
Exactly. When you think about it, they are pretty well balanced. I mean, there might be a few, it might seem overbalanced depending on what class you are. For example, when you're a scout, the Joker or Christian Sniper can be pretty overpowered. But when you're
And let's face it, if you're any character but the soldier or the demo man when you're fighting against Wheatley, then he's incredibly overpowered. If you're using any class which has bullet scan weapons, for example, Wheatley can be a real pain, but then again, that's more to do with the fact that Wheatley is bugged out the arse than anything else.
But then again, bosses like Final Scouts own because they keep moving, whereas snipers, heavies, and other classes that depend on camping have a bit of a harder time of it. It ultimately comes down to what class you are versus certain boss. It might seem overpowered to you, but think about it from another class's point of view.
Not to mention the fact that how overpowered a boss is can really actually be very simply determined by what map you're playing on. For example, if you're playing on, say, Ravine, then characters like Octavia are going to be next to useless. Whereas if you are playing on, say, Nucleus, suddenly Octavia becomes considerably more threatening.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. And it's even worse when they go Twilight Sparkle alternative.
Indeed.
Actually, I just want to bring up a quick rant point. I'm actually ashamed that they changed Twilight's original idea. I liked that. She got rid of the ammo. That was a pretty good boss.
I liked Twilight's feedback. What was wrong with feedback?
I reckon we should start a petition to bring Twilight Sparkle back to who she was. You reckon?
Quite possibly.
Yeah. I mean, Solar, if you're listening, she was a good boss. Why would you get rid of her?
Also, Solar, if you're listening, think about what I said before about the gangplank thing. Summoning Demo Knights. It's a good idea.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, none, eh?
Hint, nudge, hey, how's your father?
Anyway, I got the next one here. Alright. This one's from Nico, or Neko, probably. The first one was a little easy, apparently. So here's a beefed up one. Give us another Portal 2 map. In addition, a question. If you could change the nationality of one TF2 character, which one would it be, and what would you change it to? That's a pretty interesting question.
That is a pretty interesting question. How about you?
I'm just trying to think. I wish I would have read these emails before.
Well, I'd like to make the sniper actually Australian rather than the British Australian character that he is at the moment. Although, then again, at the time, I guess, the whole monarchy thing makes sense. But honestly, I would like... I've always quite liked the idea of the Pyro being Spanish. But
what's he going to do instead? He's going to go, and instead he's going to go,
No, it's more the fact, and it's funny you should say it like that, because in all honesty, I would not so much change the nationality as I would the gender. And it's very simply this. I would make it very clearly and distinctly, viably obvious that the Pyro is a man. And I would make it like that just to stop all that irritating prattle about the Pyro being a woman. I know.
Half of them think that she's a TF2 announcer.
I know at this point that the Pyro has basically become this eponymous what are you entity, where there's as many male objects as there are female objects and robotic objects, and it's the kind of this mystery, and I hope, oh, please, Valve, when you release Meet the Pyro, don't explain it, because we don't want to know. At this point, it has become so much of an enigma that it's just ingrained in our consciousness. But if I could make a choice, I would make it a man, because, let's face it, they said when the game was released it was an all-male cast. Very simple. Bada bing, bada boom. Not a woman, in my opinion. I have seen women wearing those outfits. They don't look that lumpy and stretchy and bloated and weird or whatever. If that is a woman under there, I feel really sorry for her. I really do.
I've just thought of something that might be amazingly funny with this question. I'm going to take a scout and make him like one of those fast-running Jamaicans.
Oh, God.
It'd be like, yeah, man, I owned you, didn't I? Or some really... I can't pull off a Jamaican accent perfectly, but you get the idea. A Jamaican scout. How would that be?
I can imagine him trying to play Pokemon would be incredibly confusing. Hey, do you want to play some Pokemon?
No, man.
Oh, God, I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before.
I know where you've heard it before, but I'm not going to tell you till after we hit the off-record button.
Probably a good idea. Idea.
Anyway, to those of you that probably know what that reference is, keep your mouth shut.
It's not going to matter until then, because I'm already going to be been told by then.
Anyway, moving on. You're next, aren't you? Yeah.
Indeed I am. Excuse me 1 second. The page is not scrolling. Okay, here we go. Yes, it seems to be working
Another Matt
now.
the Mighty one.
Hey, 10 podcasts in, 10 weeks gone by. Time goes fast when you're having fun. Hey, Matt the Mighty here again. I think me and Loopy have a, how you say this, friendly battle.
You don't say.
I'm guessing that Loopy also knows that it's a little harmless fun, so it's on. It's on. How you gonna kill me? Well, I think we already covered that part. Calling me names again? I have a name for you, little Johnny. Yeah, that's right, your mother told me. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's on. Next week I'm going to do another special thing. Oh, this is on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's on. I don't know. I think if I'm going to say it's on, I'm going to say it like the demo man says it. It's on! It's on like...
Did not see that one coming.
Now, here are some questions for you. First up, do you have any degree in any form of medicine or anything else? Well, I've already answered that question. How about you?
Yeah, I have a degree in insanity.
Hey! Question 2. When's your birthday?
The first month of the year. The best month to be born.
My one is in November, so it's quite a long ways away from now. 3. When's your death day?
I think I slotted that in for about 5 years' time and 28 days.
Personally, I've settled mine in for, whenever I can invent a certain physical altering device. As soon as I've created that, I will have no need to live anymore. Anyway, when you're on your deathbed, what will be the last thing you want to do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. What about you?
Well, the actual last thing I want to do is not for public hearing because I suspect it would traumatize a few people. So, in talking in a purely gentlemanly manner, the last thing I want to do is go out with some really awesome final words. Like, for example, like what I said, when I was having my wisdom teeth taken out. It was the first time I'd ever been put under using anesthesia.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And so I'm laying there on the thing, and they give me the thing, and they say, okay, do you have anything you need to, are you all ready? Are you all set? And I said to them, I just have one thing to say. Yes? If I should die on this table, remember this of me. I'll be back to get you. They laughed quite a lot. And I would love to have some epic dying words.
I've actually, just to bring up a point, I remember when I went under anesthetic, this was actually quite funny. I sat there and said to the doctor, this stuff really puts you out right away. He's like, yeah, it does. I'm like, yeah, as if I could. I'm going to stay awake. Next thing I woke up and it was all done 8 hours later.
Fail.
Yeah, I know, I failed that one. But if I was to do something, I think the last thing I would have on my to-do list would be a little bit more on the sentimental side of things. I would want a video documentary where I talk about comedy.
The other alternative would be that you could always just have the
famous last joke.
Nah. Well, that also would be quite good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now then, do you have or do you plan on doing a bucket list? Well, yes, I do, but I haven't finished it yet, or even started.
A bucket list?
Do you know what a bucket list is?
I think I might, but you might want to explain it.
A bucket list. A list of things you want to do before you kick the bucket.
Actually, no, I don't really have a bucket list. What I really have is goals of what I want to do in life, but nothing, I don't have, I want to go climb these mountains, I want to go Absa, I want to dive out of a plane. I don't have anything like that, no, I don't.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, a bucket list is basically a list of things you want to achieve before you die.
Well, I have to put one of those down.
When is the Mad Chatters getting their own boss?
Right, ask Solar, beg him,
pretty much.
Get on your knees.
It's entirely up to Solar, and depending on how popular we get. But who knows? We'll see.
Oh, what the? I'm going to kill him.
Oh,
don't read next one.
Wheatley is set number 7. Oh, wow, this is a controversial part if ever I did see one.
Don't read it.
Wheatley is cool. Loopy is the rule. Not a question. What you gonna do?
Matt the Mighty.
Indeed. Looking forward to the many to come podcasts. Forever be with Mad Cheddars. Matt the Mighty, your loyal podcast listener. P.S. Got a chamber here. Not much. Just a test. Hope you can't solve it.
Oh, I'm going to solve it, and then I'm going to solve it again. Then I'm going to rub it in your face and I solve it. Then I'm going to publish it for all the world to see I solve it. I'm going to get in with you. I'm going to publish it, and then I'm going to get with you to say I solved your little crappy test. Ah!
And then I'm going to post it to myself, and when it arrives on my doorstep, I'm going to smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, that too. You remember that line?
All right.
Fair
Your
enough.
turn.
All right. Zico again. My newest test track is published. It is currently not complete, but it is solvable. In brackets, I ran out of items, so the sixth chamber is currently just a button used to activate the last bridge to the end room. Details in the description of the map. Have fun. P.S. If you feel up to it, try the free companion cube.
Try to free the companion cube.
I thought it was giving it to me for free.
Nope.
Oh,
Sad.
I don't want it anymore. It's not free. I don't like things that cost anything.
Indeed. Well, that's another one we've got to do, and it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, let's see here. Now then, I'll take this next one.
Yeah, I thought you might have.
Dear Loopy and Wheatley, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Crapfully, nombre.
Ah, I know. I have a big keyboard. All the buttons are as big as my fist.
No, I should point.
And every time I push a button, it sounds like this. Ding, ding, woof, woof.
It's always fun. But no, in all seriousness, though, I was quite amazed when I heard that Mr. Loopy did not want to read this email, and I was like, why not? And he's like, and I'm like,
do you have to bring this up?
Oh, I for your sake, I won't. Let's just tactfully say that I'm a considerably bigger Strong Bad fan than Loopy is. Yes, I won't clarify exactly what I was talking about there. Now then, this next one is quite an interesting little email, which you can take along.
Yeah, I've not been looking forward to this one, but anyway, if I don't, Death will kill me. Dearest Riffmere, or probably Weekly, and Putis Legend. For those of you that don't know, there's a new side group out there called the Knights Who Say Putis. It's like when the heavy says
Putis Spencer
Putis
here.
Exactly. And they've currently dubbed me Putis Legend. So here's a shout out to all those in the Putis, because if I don't do it, Quads will now kill me. So there you go, Quads, you have a shout out. If you wish to be a Putis, or someone who says Putis, join the Putis Guild.
Putis,
yes. He says, Dear Riffmere and Loopy, where have you disappeared to, Wheatley? We miss you. Okay.
I must admit, I'm not sure exactly which server he's referring to for that one. I can only assume that he means Saxton Hale, because I can't possibly imagine that he would mean AG. But if he means the Saxton Hale servers, I still play on the Saxton Hale servers, every now and then, Depends on...
I've seen it.
Basically, it's whenever there's people playing on there.
And what's he say? Loopy, could you please enlighten me as to the genre of your favourite cartoon? That would be greatly appreciated. Well, I think another clue is in demand. If you're wanting to know my genre, it's an adventure cartoon series.
Hooray!
There you go. It says, kind regards, Golden Putis, or in brackets, Death.
Yay!
Death.
Yes, death to all the Death 1010101s.
Indeed. It only just occurred to me, where the dickens is Death on my friends list? What's he currently called?
Death 1010101.
Does he have a tag?
No, he's just... Let me just check, actually. Let's see. He is probably not in-game. There it is. He's just called Death 1010101, and then after his name, he's got the brackets of Oxford.
Death 101010101. Oh, there he is.
See? It's simple. Death 101. Here he is.
I'm just checking something.
What are you doing? Checking his profile now?
No, I'm not. I'm slightly disappointed now. I wondered if perhaps the 101010 in his name was a reference to some form of binary, but it's not actually binary.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
Oh, well, it's not. Sad face.
Anyway, we promise we'll have a guest star for you next week. I know we've been a little out of touch lately, but, you know, we don't just accept anyone that says, I'll be a guest star. We actually like to have good quality guest stars on the show,
Yeah,
don't
we need to have people who are actually going to be interesting and fun to listen to.
Yeah, like me and Wheatley.
Yay! But yes.
Wait, are we interesting and fun to listen to?
I'd like to think that we're fun and interesting to listen to.
Well, just to bring up some stats, I just checked the YouTube before. We currently have 46 subscribers and 1,410 views so far.
Yeah, that's all right for 10 episodes.
Well, we haven't put the 10th one up yet.
Quite so, quite so.
But, I would love to be more popular than this, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. We have 46 regular viewers. I'm not complaining.
Personally, I'm in this for the love.
Yeah, I know. We love you all here at Oz Radio. Now hurry up and pay us with your views. Alright, and I think we'll wrap things up with that, eh?
Yes, absolutely. If you have any requests for games that you would like to be covered in the Gamers Insider section, then feel free to let us know, as well as any other potential things that you might like to hear us.
Or if you wish us to rant on a particular topic you hate, let us know too.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Mad Chatter's table is open for any discussion you wish to have. So email us in your topics, because honestly, we've run out of ideas, haven't we?
We have not run out of ideas. What are you?
Well, look at this. I'm opening up my wallet and butterflies are flying out.
That's just because you've been keeping those poor innocent butterflies trapped in your wallet, you selfish bastard.
Sorry, Fluttershy.
She's not going to be happy with you, mate. You know this.
But she'll forgive me. She's nice, kind, and considerate, isn't she?
Timid, maybe. I don't know if I'd call her kind of considerate.
I don't want an evil stare. Please don't give her the evil stare.
Ah, good times. Oh yeah, and I noticed here that nobody has even attempted to guess what my favorite My Little Pony episode is, which is good because I have officially figured out what it is now. So now I actually know exactly what it is. So feel free to make your guesses, and if you win, you get a delightful prize from me.
So if you know my favourite cartoon, my favourite character, or Wheatley's favourite My Little Pony episode, email in your guesses. Yep. Because my favourite game has currently been guessed, for those of you that keep forgetting.
Please note, you only get one guess per week from me.
Yeah, and same for me. No triple guessing like some of you have been doing, yes? I'll just take the first one you send in.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best idea.
And so, this is the Master of Insanity Loopy Legend.
And Dr. Wheatley.
And this is us signing off from Oz Radio, where everything is 20% cooler.
Oh.
You thought you escaped it the other week, didn't you?
I didn't think I'd really escaped. I knew it was coming at some point, but I thought it would be at least vaguely witty.
I don't care, as long as I include it. I don't care how vaguely witty it is. Goodbye, loyal viewers. Catch you later.
Yeah.